Hi folks, Phil Gallagher aka ThrabenU here for another Pauper video. Today's video is sponsored by Moxfield.com and our deck list comes to us from Evan F. First of all, happy birthday, Evan. I'm not sure if this is going to end up releasing on your birthday or close to it, but either way, I hope you have a great day. So today's strategy is actually based around walls of all things. Overgrown Battlement, as well as Axebane Guardian, both allow you to make an amount of mana equal to the number of defender creatures you control. And we're going to have a decent number of them in our deck list. The general plan is to use some mana dorks in the early game to go and generate mana to ramp us into these, which are then going to ramp us into much bigger and much scarier things later on in the game. The initiative is dead in Pauper. Long live the initiative in Pauper. Goliath, Paladin, and Avenging Hunter are still Pauper legal. Most of the black ones and the ones that costed less were just axed from the format, but they didn't take out every single initiative card. Our goal is to still be a turbo initiative deck-ish, but there's a little bit more going on, as we're also going to just have a decent amount of card advantage, too. We can use Winding Way to get a whole bunch of creatures, as we are playing 37 of them in our deck list, and the same is true for Lead the Stampede. Our goal is to use our mana dorks to either draw a bunch of cards or play very problematic or value-oriented cards. Now there's a couple other random things in here that can go and give our creatures reach, and we also have Secret Door. And if we end up going real big or even infinite with mana somehow, like this can be a way to just kind of get kills instantly or get an absolutely insane amount of value. Yeah, as far as the sideboard goes, there's a handful of things you might not be super familiar with. Standard Bearer is kind of like a Mother of Runes effect. Gorilla Shaman is great for destroying artifacts, although doesn't hit bridges. Nylea's Disciple is going to be what we're going to rely on versus mono red decks like the Kuldotha Forgemaster deck, and Tamiyo Safekeeping is a way to protect our stuff should we need to protect it. I guess kind of the final thing that I want to say here is like I personally am pretty lukewarm about Pauper right now. The last couple of leaks that I've recorded haven't particularly been fun for me. So we're gonna kind of see how things shake out today. If I don't enjoy myself today, I'll probably just kind of put Pauper on pause for a little while until the format's more enjoyable for me. I'm not currently taking Pauper donations, but like if I end up having fun here, maybe I'll change my mind about that. I would love to hear your thoughts about Pauper in the comments, like very seriously here. If you're a regular Pauper player, like please let me know. Because like I know I'm not super enjoying the format, but the format seems to be competitively balanced, so that's kind of putting it in a weird spot. And I'm really enjoying hearing people's thoughts on the format. I think it's very interesting. All right, with that being said, please consider liking and subscribing. It matters a lot. I'm in a bit of an algorithm slump right now, and I'm trying to work my way out of that. All right, let's battle. All right, so round one, I'm on the draw. I don't really think I have enough mana to get going. Like, I can play Tinderwall on turn one, sacrifice it, play Axebane Guardian, but I think I'd rather just find a more consistent hand. This isn't that. It's fine with any one mana source or creature, though. I think I just keep this and assume that I draw one of my however many lands I'm playing or any one-drop creature to make this totally reasonable. And I can be sad about it if that does not happen. What does Tranquil Cove mean in this format? Alright, cool. I did find another land. I have to both tap this and tap an untapped creature I control. So this isn't an active mana dork as of right now. So I'll just be passing my turn here. No play from my opponent. I don't know if this is some like fairy variant, some control deck. Okay, yeah, this is kind of where I thought it might be going with like Flint Hawk type nonsense. All right, so let's attempt an Overgrown Battlement here. It is indeed a counterspell. That's fine. I'm not taking any damage yet. That's kind of the good news here. Bad news is I'm kind of floundering in terms of resources, and my opponent is going to get to do like Or Skyfisher bounce nonsense. Free to play a Thraben Inspector. I know Alex Ullman recently wrote an article about how good this card was in Pauper. I just didn't really have a chance to read it. Alright. Let us lead the Stampede as a draw 2 here. This unfortunately doesn't help me hit land drops. I am missing colored mana here. Like, this is how I get it. And assuming that resolves, things are okay. Like, I have very good things to ramp into. And the ability to take the initiative back multiple times. Alright, land drop. How bad is this? Oh, yeah, you can crack clues all day. Yeah, that's fine. I get poked for 2 in the air. And, okay, cool. I think I do just still want to play the Axebane Guardian here. Like, if this gets a counterspell, I'm good with it. If it doesn't, I'm also good with it. I now do have 2 mana this turn, but I can't do anything with that. Alright, yeah, crack your clues. Kind of the hope now is that this lives and I can start just slamming these cards into each other turn after turn. I don't know exactly what my opponent's removal of choice is, but I'm assuming they have some sort of Oblivion Ring type removal. Yeah. I was correct. And there's a follow-up play of some kind. Is this the Aura one? Yeah, this is the Aura one. Crystallization. Can't attack or block, sure. Alright. This is all just kind of awkward for me. I can use Winding Way to hit land drops. If I do that, I don't actually do anything else this turn. I think I'm just going to play out another creature so that I'm better equipped to take the initiative back. Because basically, I don't want to play an initiative creature and then just have my opponent play a removal spell on that, take the initiative, and because a bunch of my creatures I have Defender, I can't take it back. That's essentially what I'm looking to dodge. Faith's Fetters as well. Sure. Something else is happening. Oh, it's a Lone Missionary. There's probably Ephemerates in this deck based on all of these ETB triggers that I'm seeing here. Kind of one of the higher power pillars of the format. So, is this the turn where I just jam an initiative creature? I know about the crystallization. I wonder if I can bait that out with a Rabble Fort. Might be able to. I think I'm going to choose land with this. Alright. That's not bad. Play a Caretaker. Okay, there's the Ephemerate that I was expecting. There is more copies of Crystallization. Oh, there's Spreading Seas. Sure. Let's make some red. Play a Rabble Fort. Now I'm setting myself up better to be able to take the initiative back if my opponent can take it from me. Which I think they're going to be able to do. Alright. Sure. Spreading Seas is not that big of a deal. I'm not really taking that much damage, but this crystallization is a major pain in the butt for me. Do I want a vigilance creature or a trample creature? Probably a trample creature. It really doesn't matter though. I maybe should just do the more awkward one that requires white mana here. Let's play a Goliath Paladin. Oh, an immediate removal spell. Oh, sure. Momentary blink. Okay. Sure. I'll pick up a basic plains for variety. I have 1, 2, 3 mana. I just play Aquarian Ranger, call it a turn. Yeah, I think I was just too slow to get going here. I just kind of stumbled in the early game. I don't know if I was supposed to just mulligan a second time. But now my opponent has kind of their control engine going. And I'm not very good at keeping up with them, specifically because of the flyer. I don't really care about everything else for the most part. Yeah, I'll absolutely trade with your Lone Missionary. Block one of these other ones. Take a little bit of damage. Trap is a real problem, though. Like, taking that 5 damage with the 2 that I'm guaranteed every turn from this is just huge. So, I don't really know how I'm going to get myself out of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9. I'm a little short on doing multiple things here. Alright. I will take the initiative back. Unless my opponent's last card is Counterspell. Alright, cool. I think I'm more interested in scrying here than I am trying to quickly kill my opponent. My opponent is at 34. This game's going on for a while. We'll bottom Aquarian Ranger. I guess anything that has the word initiative on it stays on top right now. Make a blue mana. Tapping one of these things. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4. One short of doing super cool things here. Opponent's removal density was pretty rough. Okay, sure. Alright, cracking another clue. Still a momentary blank in graveyard. Fisher's good. Bounces Thraben Inspector as a card draw engine. That's reasonable. Yeah. This is rough. I assume this is Forge, the other core Skyfisher, and like Trap happens next turn. Yeah, that's very good. Bouncing Thraben Inspector again. So I basically think I'm dead. I'll see if I'm wrong somehow randomly. 3/6 Vigilant creature is not actually going to be able to get in there. Dash. Make some mana. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make some mana. 5. Do that. Make a skeleton. Yeah, but then 6 in the air plus trap kills me. Alright, yeah, we were just a little bit too slow. So I don't really have much in the way in terms of removal in this deck, which seems like it's going to be a problem. It seems like evasive flyers are just going to take the initiative and beat me. I could play something like Standard Bearer, which can mess up some of their ephemerate blink stuff, while also being reasonable protection for my larger creatures. I can also do some of this stuff, stop my stuff from getting removed. Seems like I'm going to be tapping out a lot of the time, though I don't know how well this protection spell is going to line up. If I'm tapping out on turn 1 for a Dork, tapping out on turn 2 for like an Axebane Guardian or a Lead the Stampede or whatever, I'm not actually successfully leaving up the stuff. I don't know that I sideboard. I don't think I'm going to sideboard. Like, I could be very wrong here. Yeah, this is a reasonable hand. I'll play Overgrown Battlement on turn 2. It probably gets removed. I'll refuel with Winding Way on turn 3 and hopefully deploy a new creature. Alright, another Winding Way. Don't mind if I do. Alright, got a removal spell. Is a Thraben Inspector. Alright, let's start here. A Winding Way. Well, there I am getting punished for trying to get extra value out of my wall. Not the end of the world. I'll just play another one. But I could have played around that. We'll be picking creature. And that's not actually all that good here, because I don't have white mana yet for this. Like, that, I guess, technically counts as white mana, but that's not really what I want right now. Mortuary Mire. Sure. Okay. I don't mind that. Yeah, so I have 5 mana, but not the white here. That's very awkward. I wasn't expecting Spell Pierce necessarily last turn. Oh, this actually kind of helps me out, doesn't it? So, Secret Door has made mana fixing for me. So this is 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 mana a different way. Still no white. Well, Avacyn's Pilgrim. And then I can start venturing with Secret Door. I would prefer to be in the Undercity, though, when I do that. Alright, there is a core Skyfisher. Presumably just bouncing Thraben Inspector. Nice. My opponent is going to have a flyer, but hopefully that doesn't matter. 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. This has reach. Let's, I guess, leave a green untapped. I don't think it matters. All right, there's the Altisaur. All right. Now I get an initiative card. I will pick up a Plains. All right, now I have 2 creatures in play, and my opponent can't immediately take the initiative. And even if they do, it's hard for them to defend it. Even if they do take it, I take it back via Goliath Paladin, even if they invalidate both of my creatures. This is feeling much better than last game, but like it's very clear the difference in removal between this one and the last one. Alright. Thanks for showing me Mold Drifter, I guess. Alright, so it seems if I get to big mana quickly, I am pretty likely to win. Does that mean that I do want to play some Standard Bearers or Tamiyo Safekeeping? I think it's Tamiyo Safekeeping over Standard Bearer. Fight the awkwardness in the white mana. Just because it's easier for me to hold up a green. And probably board out a secret door for one of those pretty easily. I don't know how important it is that my creatures actually have haste. It seems like not. 2 of those enough? Do I want all 3? 3's a lot. Pick out one random like Tinderwall or Caretaker probably. Or the final one. Oh boy. This hand is fantastic if I draw 1 more land. How many lands am I working with? 15? F. I think I just mulligan it. With a land count that low, I don't think I'm willing to keep that. This is a better version of the same hand, though. It has just more things I can play early, and Quirion Ranger can kind of make me make 2 land drops out of a forest. Assuming it sticks around. I'll get rid of a Caretaker. Maybe supposed to get rid of Axebane Guardian, though. IDK. Alright. I very much need this Quirion Ranger to live. Now, my opponent doesn't know that, and that fact is very good for me. Fuck. Alright. That's a disaster. I have very few lands that I'm actually drawing to. Luckily, I am a skilled magician, and we don't have to worry about that. So, let's see if this eats a removal spell. If it doesn't, I can try to vomit stuff into play. Nice. So I do need to be aware of Counterspell here. I think I start on Quirion Ranger. Quirion Ranger is basically free. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That feels good. Now I go 1, 2, and actually get to resolve another Overgrown Battlement. Very happy with how I played that one. Alright, Skyfisher's good. Alright, they just returned an island. That's okay with me. So I have, what? 2, 4, 5, 6 mana, kind of? Kind of a little more than that. I can do this, play an Axebane Guardian, and then this Battlement taps for more. Nice. Not playing Lead the Stampede around a Spell Pierce right now, so I think I just play another Axebane Guardian. Alright, yeah, crack your clue. And then next turn, I super easily play all of this stuff around the oft counterspells. And hopefully just kind of go wild. Yeah, your 4 Skyfishers are a-okay with me. Bounce the plains. I do not mind taking 2 damage. That is totally fine. Our Winding Way and Lead the Stampede effectively the same thing here. Reveal top 4, reveal top 5. Okay. This is 4, 5. Start here? I think start here. Name creature. Sure. Tinderwall is more than free here. Go 3 mana. I will lead the Stampede. Oh, yeah. Very nice. So, this is a lot of mana. That's 5. I'm just going to make all green here. Play an Annoyed Altisaur. Okay. Seems like that maybe should have happened on my opponent's turn. I'll just make a whole bunch of green again. I'll gain some life. I'll Cascade. I will take the initiative. Pick up a basic plains. Haven't played a land? I haven't played a land. I have 9 mana. That can be this and this, but this just seems better. Actually, I'll tap the plains here. There's a new Axebane Guardian. Would I like to sacrifice Tinderwall to play Nylea's Disciple? Yes. I will do that. Gain a bunch of life. Doesn't seem like my opponent beats me from here. Although I wish them luck. I don't actually wish them luck. But, like, they can attack me with multiple creatures to take the initiative, taking losses along the way. That doesn't seem fantastic. We are going to go for it. Yeah. So this is actually going to be a net positive for me. Like, you can take another plains here, but I'm presumably very easily taking back the initiative in combat. And then I'm going to turbo through the dungeon from there. Bam, bam, bam. All 3 of those go in. I'm also just casually at 30 life between the last breath and this Nylea's Disciple. This tramples. I mean, I'm very happy with this. Alright, I venture. I will be going down the kill you side. Let's put counters on a trampler, I think. Yeah. Okay, so when this deck does its thing, it's really good. Today's video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, which is more than just the deck building website that they advertise to be. It's a place where you can go to find articles and more than just deck lists. So for example, if you want to find out the people who are like brewing or a lot of the brewers with the most followers, that's something that's just readily accessible on this website. So consider checking them out. All right, so I have a one-lander again. I just don't get started on these one-landers, and I'm somewhat unlikely to hit the next land drop, so I think I just have to mulligan that. This is a keep. I think I throw back a basic land here. I can play an initiative creature on turn 3, which is pretty legit by this format standards. Alright. These Tinder Walls are actually going to soak up a lot of damage. I certainly don't mind drawing another land. Oh, I can actually just turn 2 this initiative creature, huh? Am I willing to do that? Very awkward to do that versus Galvanic Blast. That might not be on. Like, it may be correct to just do that there, but, like, I don't mind having these Tinder Walls around right now. Ward, pay 2 life. Prowess, sure. Just feels significantly safer for me to just kind of chill here. It's so bad if I lose the initiative. I think I'm actually going to play this conservatively and just keep Overgrown Battlement as a way of dealing a very large amount of damage. Alright. Prowess is a thing that is occurring. What is that? Sacrifice 1 damage to target player or planeswalker. Sure. Alright, I gotta yield to these prowess triggers. I'm certainly not responding with removal in this matchup. Alright, so these are 3/4s. I can go ahead and block one of them. Take 3 safely. Okay. So now I have a whole lot of mana. So this is 3, 4, 5, 6 mana easily. 7, 8 mana if I'm willing to drop a Tinderwall. Can't make white. What if I play this and get a basic plains? 3, 4, 5, get... yeah, okay, that's my line. 3, 4, 5, Avenging Hunter. Take the initiative. Get basic plains. Slam this onto the battlefield. And then kind of go in on these larger creatures. Alright. Let's make a Goliath Paladin. Oop. Thank you for your service, Tinderwall. I think I go the Forge way. 8 power Defender. 8 power Vigilant Defender. Seems decent. And at this point, I don't care if I lose one of these to a removal spell. Alright, there is a Galvanic Blast, so I will indeed lose one of them to a removal spell. My opponent can take the initiative, but I just take it right back and they lose a creature in process, so this seems totally fine to me. And I just like Winding Way my way out of this from here. Go get your basic land. Okay. Yep. Rebirth is good. Rebirth gives my opponent chump blockers. Okay. That's fine. Let's Winding Way. Use creature. 2 mana for a Battlement. At this point, I'll go ahead and just make my attack, because I know it's coming. My opponent gets to hold the initiative. I missed on finding an initiative creature there, which kind of sucks for me. There's a Quirion Ranger, a Caretaker, Quirion Ranger. Untap this, bounce a forest, make my land drop. I need to take the initiative back. And I'm not great at doing that right now, since my opponent just for 1 mana made 3 blockers. Yeah. That's pretty bad for me. Quirion Ranger can't attack in or anything. Yeah. So my opponent is in the abyss in terms of like they're losing a creature every turn, but they're getting more than a creature worth of value every turn. Lava Dart is acceptable. Is my Goliath Paladin going to die? Wow. My Goliath Paladin is going to die without killing Monastery Swift Spear. Ugh, that sucks. Oh, and there's more? Okay, sure. Yeah, so this forged up creature is going to absolutely bully me. Like, it's not like Throne of the Dead 3 will be particularly powerful or anything, but... Ugh. Okay. Yeah, I need a Winding Way type card as my draw. Like, I need to go wide here. Otherwise, I think my opponent is just going to beat me. I think I have to throw away a creature to gain 5 life. Alright. I'm basically just dead in 2 turns to just alpha attacks with all of these creatures. Nothing that can trade with my opponent's creatures in combat. I guess I will play this, but this is basically over already. I don't know that this was normal, but this was a beating. Yeah, with Lava Dart there and Lava Darts in Graveyard for extra damage. I believe I am just kind of like deterministically dead at this point one way or another. Alright, let's move on. 4x, Nylea's Disciple in the main deck now will be very strong. I think that's what I'm going to be looking to do to kind of solidify the matchup. I'll take away some off-color cards. What's the last cut? I could cut one of my X1 creatures because of Lava Dart specifically, like cut one Quirion Ranger. It does help me hit land drops though. I'll cut one. Yeah, this is fine. It's got a decent amount of gas, some defenders for the early game, and hopefully a way to spiral. Spear? It's a lightning bolt, which is certainly worse for me. Let's see how many cards I draw here. A lot. Quite happy with that. Play an Axebane Guardian next turn, and then hopefully do cool things after that. I have a lot of resources. Alright, Epicure is fine. And Kuldotha Rebirth really isn't. That is just so many bodies, and now every removal spell is just horrifyingly good. So if my creature just gets lightning bolted out of the way here, I take like 10 damage. Yeah. So I take the vast majority of my life total as damage that turn. So I have 4 mana. I can go up to 5 mana if that's a thing that I want to do, but it really isn't. I think this is just play a Tinder Wall, play an Axebane Guardian, and hope that I can do something cool next turn. 4, 5, 6 mana easily. Cool. Alright. Yeah. Block, hope they don't have another piece of interaction. Cool. Yep. No, that's fine. Yeah, if that had just gone to my face instead, it kind of would have been equally as bad. Just in a different way. The Disciple's a good draw, but again, everything is just dying to my opponent's Lightning Bolt effects anyway. Okay. That's Lightning Bolt with Lava Dart to kill it. Sure. Cool. No, that's great. I died on turn 5. after playing at least one card every turn and gaining a bunch of life. All right, what is this? This is round 3. I think we're 1-1. Do I keep this with both Avacyn Pilgrim and Quarian Ranger on the draw where I'm going to get one more card? Yes, question mark. I don't feel good about the land count in this deck. Okay, so same as last round, which I'm not feeling great about. That land is a great pickup. Gonna die to Lava Dart, and I'll be sad about it. Another Swift Spear, okay. That's not killing me immediately, and it's a Black Splash this time. Okay. I think I... Winding Way like this. I think I still choose Creature. I think I still choose Creature. Holy shit. Play out an Avacyn's Pilgrim. Discard one card here. Seems like I'm either dead or winning the game by the time I get to the Annoyed Altisaur. Alright, there's an Epicure from my opponent. I think if I lose a couple of these mana dorks here, I'm just in awful, awful shape. Alright, we are seeing a black spell. No, we're not seeing a black spell. Alright, it is a Kuldotha Rebirth. Sure. It's now very risky for me to play out initiative creatures. My opponent can just take it back, and we saw how that goes last time. So Quarian Ranger is basically free. So untap this, bounce a forest, replay a forest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana available. Kind of 6 mana available though, right? I can do this. Oh, this has summoning sickness. Whoops. I would have done that anyway. All right, so 1, 2, 3. Play an Axebane Guardian, and we'll see where this goes. Have a couple defenders. Let's hope that my opponent can't vomit spells. I think I can just completely stay out of combat, but I just kind of feel very pressured in terms of my life total. Like, I am at 12. I think I need to take some degree of risk here. Galv Blast at my face. Cool. Fucking serious. Cool. Concede. Alright. Play 3 Nylea's Disciple. I think I went this and this last time around and then boarded out one drop. Alright, let's board out one of these. Alright, I will keep this hand. It needs a little more something. But I have 3 lands, which is far above average for what this deck is going to have. Play a Pilgrim, pass the turn. I'm probably not doing anything on my turn 2, assuming this Pilgrim dies on my turn 1. Oop, didn't. Nice. I mean, that the other side of that is that my opponent just does have, you know, a turn 1 Swift Spear. And that is going to represent a very large amount of damage. I kind of wanted to pick up some cards to bridge me to the mid game rather than stuff that looked like that, but I'll take it. I need this Pilgrim to live. They don't have a good play if it doesn't. Alright. Next turn is probably scary for me. I just need to play a 3-3? I probably just need to play a 3-3 this turn. Like Avacyn's Pilgrim and lead the Stampede is tempting, but that puts me back to 20 and puts a distraction in the way. It's really frustrating how I can't interact with my opponent in combat. Like, it is such a great risk to block these Swift Spears, and if I don't take them, I just eat a lightning bolt worth of damage each turn. Yeah. This this format doesn't seem healthy and fun. Alright. I don't have a land drop. I have 4 mana available. I can't Goliath Paladin. There's a problem. And I can try to play out these things that block, but as we saw last time, a 3 toughness blocker wasn't relevant. I guess I'm just going such a waste of mana. Yeah, I guess I'm just going up on my mana count here. Alright, end of turn fetch. Sure. Alright. Cool. Fine. That, Chromatic Star was just worth, like, a lightning bolt worth of damage. Yeah, so here's this, like, damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. If I block here on these Swift Spears, and my opponent has something, I get blown the fuck out and I can't really win. If I don't block them, I just let in so much extra damage if they don't have anything. It's not a very fun play pattern at all. Like, I've given my opponent an extra lightning bolt worth of damage this turn because blocking is just not reasonable. Yeah. Alright, cool. Yeah, I'm at 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 possible mana. I guess I'm playing Winding Way, trying to find another Nylea's Disciple. Nope. I have 4 creatures in play. I'm dead. Yeah, my opponent just attacks all out and I die. Alright, GG. Okay. So this hand is slightly awkward, because, like, I have 2 lands and a bunch of things to play. I think it's still a keep, because, like, this becomes very, very good if I draw an Axebane Guardian or the 2-mana Defender Wall thing. Overgrown Battlement, there we go. But is a little lacking. I think it's good with a lot of draws, though, because there's also just things that I can draw where I can produce a turn 2 initiative creature. Oh, cool. We're gonna play the same effective matchup for the 3rd round in a row. Cool. I guess it could technically be Affinity. I will play a Quarian Ranger for the sake of variety here. And let's see if we're playing against Burn or Affinity. Still unclear. Oh, it's... Well, I guess it could be Affinity with Gurmag Angler. Yep, okay. It is indeed Affinity with Gurmag Angler. Okay. I think I have the time to just cast this as is and not gamble on Tinder Walls this turn. Right. Multiple Avenging Hunters. Oh, that's my turn. Oh, I guess I get to attack for 1. Alright, little poke. The next turn, assuming I sacrifice some Tinder Walls, I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 easy mana. And technically have 9 mana if I play the Tinder Wall as a ritual. The issue here is, like, these are X4s, so they just die to Galvanic Blast, which is awkward. My opponent can also just play, like, 3 4/4s this turn. Alright, there's a Deadly Dispute. Okay, free Frogmite. 6 artifacts in play. Yeah, that's kind of one of the things that I was afraid of. I very much cannot afford to lose the initiative right now. Alright. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. Okay, so I think I have to sacrifice one of these. Do you think I am just playing this? Take the initiative. I'll take up a basic plains. I've already made my land drop for turn. Play the Caretaker. And I guess I could do something like no, this has Summoning Sickness. I'm used to Legacy Elves where you just get to, like, vomit your cool things into play. And it just works. Because the activated abilities don't have the tap attached to them. Oh, Galv Blast is so bad. For me. Alright. So I don't think my opponent has Galv Blast if they are making that attack. I kind of just want to chump block, forge this up so that it never gets killed by Galv Blast in the future. I don't think I'm interested in trading here. I'm unsure which one of my creatures should be going to the graveyard there. Cinderwall feels the most replaceable. Alright, Thoughtcast is good. It's weird to me that my opponent didn't Thoughtcast ahead of time if they had the opportunity to do that. They can make this turn so much worse for me if they Thoughtcast ahead of time, find the Galv Blast, and then I don't have good blocks in combat. Alright, sure. So get your 2/2. Alright, cool. Let's attempt the Forge here. Alright, cool. I have a 7/6 creature that I am able to untap afterwards. Real good. Yeah, let's just start there. Alright, opponent goes down to 12. I will make my land drop. I'll go 5 mana for a new Avenging Hunter. I will now trap my opponent, which brings them to a relatively scary life total. I don't think I have to play out a Tinderwall. Like, I can tap Caretaker Quarian Ranger to play Tinderwall. I guess that effectively leaves me with the same number of blockers. Yeah. Alright, so let's tap that. We'll play this. And technically untap 2 of my creatures if I need to. I go ahead and untap this now. I was kind of saving it as a trick, but just in case I decide I want to tap another one on my opponent's turn for some reason, I'll leave myself with that option. Okay, that's a land drop. Reckoner's Bargain is totally fine. Seems scary to be sacrificing creatures on this board where, like, you very much need to block through 2 large trampling creatures on your turn or you're dead. Yeah, that's fine. I don't think my opponent is playing towards any outs anymore. Alright, yeah, no attacks is quite good for me. Take an extra card. That's fantastic. Guess let's just play that. Have the initiative already. I can just kind of see what's going on here. Alright, we'll do Throne of the Dead 3. I want another Goliath Paladin for a Vigilance creature. I just want a 6/5 reach Trampler. Well, it's going to be bigger than that, actually. Yeah, that's fine. Are we done here? Yeah, we're done here. Okay. We have Gorilla Shaman for this matchup as a way to smash some artifacts. It's a very good mana sink if we go really big on mana. Kind of like I'm doing every round, I'm going to board out these 2 cards, I think pretty much every time. Like, I may be underestimating Secret Door as a mana sink for Axebane Guardian nonsense. How do I feel about these Nylea's Disciples? Having them to find off Throne of the Dead 3 can sometimes keep me from getting, like, burnt out or something. I don't know that I want a full playset, but, like, this is a Galvanic Blast deck, and not the best at taking beats from 4/4s. That said, I don't really know what I'm supposed to, like, cut from here, because I like the cards that are in my deck, so I don't think I'm going to board more of them. This doesn't feel keepable. Let's just go ahead and mulligan this one. This feels better. I hate how X4s line up against Galvanic Blast. I'm keeping this. I think I actually get rid of this. Like, despite that card's power, I think my plan is go big with Axebane Guardian and Winding Way, given how this hand looks. I'm perfectly happy to draw that next land here. Deck isn't the most consistent at getting to 3 mana on turn 2, though, which I dislike, because I would really like to just play this on turn 2 every time. But c'est la vie. Play Tinderwall. I think I do just do it like this. Play Winding Way. Use creature. Alright. I did find a Gorilla Shaman. Fortunately, my opponent's artifact lands are indestructible. Yeah, so my targeted hate currently does literally nothing, which is pretty brutal. Am I jamming this? What do the counterspells in Affinity look like right now? Maybe Rhetoric Rebuke. So, counterspells are not guaranteed. I think it's okay to just slow this down. Like, my opponent has put no pressure on board yet. I think this is fine. Let's tap untapped creature to make some red. Just throw that out there. Yeah, I'm making a mistake in not just turboing this out. Yep. Like, I can maybe get more value out of that Gorilla Shaman by waiting, but I'm also trying to not necessarily just throw this into a counterspell when I can play around it. Guardian Ranger's not super exciting here. Alright, there's an Avenging Hunter. Hey, remember what I said about X4s and Galvanic Blast? It's relevant. I'll pick up the basic planes here. I've made a land drop. I'll drop Aquarian Ranger. I have multiple 0/3 defenders here. I should not lose the initiative. Forge isn't particularly good for me, though. Yeah, Wellsprings are fine. I think I'm probably going right and scrying. Try to find something to do with my mana. As much as I want to go left and just kill my opponent, the scry feels far too important to not go for it. I will block. Believe it or not, I will block. Yeah, that's fine. Mark some damage on my Tinderwall. Alright, let's Lost Well. And scry 2. Alright. I can be convinced to play those cards. Bam. 5 mana. Do this. Take the initiative again. I can force that Frogmite to attack next turn. And draw a card the following turn. Bad if my opponent just removes this, though. I'm going to take my guaranteed skeleton next turn. I guess attack for 1. Boop. Alright. So, I'm doing okay. I probably get to hold initiative until Throne of the Dead 3 happens next turn. Yep. I'm paid off for not... The third Gallop Blast, by the way. I'm paid off for not going for Arena. Yeah, I don't mind the extra artifact lands. Yeah, the attack doesn't accomplish anything other than cost you a life. Now Catacombs for a skeleton. I know what I'm drawing, and it's pretty good. Drop an Avenging Hunter, and I get to Throne of the Dead 3. Those are some options. Gorilla Shaman XX. For 9 mana, I can destroy a Frogmite. All of my opponent's lands are indestructible. Let's just re-enter the Undercity immediately. At a new forest. I think I've played a land. I've played a land. Call it a turn. This gives me something that lives through Gallop Blast. And that can play both offense and defense. Alright. So I won that. I don't feel good about these games, though. Maybe that's me. Let me know in the comments how you are feeling about Pauper. Alright, this feels like a mulligan to me. I'm just, like, not going to get the 5 mana with the resources that I have here. Oof. If I get to Axebane Guardian, it's fine, but this only produces 1 kind of 2 mana. I think I'd rather go to 5. God, what have I done to deserve this? I don't know if this is playable. Like, this keeps 2 lands and 3 5-drops. I'm gonna go to 4. Easily the best card, best hand so far. Very easily. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 5. That's always going back. And then I'm less sure. Like, this is raw number of cards versus card quality. I think I take this one. Oh. Right, this is a mold of 4. It's still easily the best hand so far. Alright. You're playing against another ramp deck of some kind. I need my deck to produce a threat or a card advantage card here. Like, I am going to have a lot of mana, but like, we're probably playing against elves and we can't interact with them, which means they are going to kill me pretty quickly. Alright, there's an untap. Sure. Okay. That could have honestly been so much worse. Alright. So there's a Battlement. Tap that. Make a green. Play Aquarian Ranger. We're fully at the mercy of the top of my deck here. Like, if I draw a good card for my turn, I will very reasonably, like, probably win. But if I don't get a reasonable draw, I'm operating on 3 fewer cards than my opponent is. Okay. Okay, thank you. Like, very, very, very much appreciate that. 2 mana right now. Probably end up untapping it this turn. Alright, 2 mana, 3 mana. We'll lead the Stampede. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we've kind of unmulliganed now. So, assuming I tap this, this is 1, 2. Okay, let's definitely untap this. So untap this. Bounce a forest. I can play Tinderwall for free. Currently 3, 4 mana, 5 mana. I can play an initiative card this turn. 1, 2, 3, 4. I need white. Tap Quarian Ranger, I guess. 5, Goliath Paladin. Take the initiative, which effectively draws me another card. Grab the basic planes. And I should be able to hold the initiative because my opponent has a creature with Defender here. I am very glad to be playing against something that isn't a Galvanic Blast deck. 2 mana, 3 mana, untap, remake land drop, 4 mana. I don't know this one. Virtual library for a creature card with Defender. Oh, cool. Right, they're finding an Overgrown Battlement, which they can play immediately. Sure, that's fine. Is Scrying better than Forge? If I play Forge, I still get to be attacking for 5, and if I don't, I'm not really attacking. But I just have nothing to do with my mana this turn other than play an Axebane Guardian. I think the Scrying is still better. Nice. Bottom that. Top that. I'm still going to attempt an attack because I don't lose anything by doing it, but pretty obvious block. Ooh, nice. 3 Lightning Bolt. 3 walls. I get 4 walls. There's Axebane Guardian. 4. I will now need to make a white or a Goliath Paladin. Do I want a menace thing or to draw an extra card? Probably to draw an extra card, so I think I'm going to cut diagonally across here. So let's goad a Quarian Ranger. My opponent can work around that. But it feels like I just want to hit some big mana play here. And Archives gives me a better chance of doing that. Like hitting another initiative creature or an Annoyed Altisaur or whatever is very good. Alright, transmuting for a 3 mana thing. Freed from the Real. Okay, so my opponent may be going infinite here. Let's see if I'm dead. Alright, so my opponent can now tap and untap this a whole bunch of times and generate infinite mana. I'm going to go ahead and zoom ahead to their relevant plays. Alright, there's a Transmute Drift of Phantasms or a Valakut Invoker. This is now going to kill me. So my opponent just like creates infinite mana and then activates that until I'm dead. I'm not going to make them click through that. Alright, GG. So we are playing a pseudo mirror where my opponent can go infinite and I can't, but I am going to be much better at creature-based stuff than they are. I'll play Standard Bearer and freed from the Real, target my stuff. Yeah, it's an enchant creature, untap, tap, enchanted creature. Is as part of casting a spell, not activating an ability. Or no, it is or activating an ability. Sweet. Okay, Standard Bearer is respectable tech then. This can probably go. The haste seems somewhat important here. I'm just going to board out Secret Door like I am doing every round. So this is an okay mana sink, but I'm just kind of hoping to kill my opponent, I think. There is the Standard Bearer. I am not super excited about this hand, though. Like, I can just play an Axebane Guardian on turn 3, probably, if I Winding Way for a land. I think I can do better than this on the average 6. I am down for this. I cannot produce white mana at all. I'm going to get rid of one of my white cards. I'm not in love with this hand, though. Like, I get to play Quarian Ranger, replay this Forest on turn 2 to play Overgrown Battlement, and then work on Lead the Stampede to do something cool. Alright. So, float mana. Well, I guess I can attack first. Just doing this strictly correctly. Brought my opponent to 19. Then float mana, untap, bounce land, play land, battlement. And my next turn can get very good if I draw another creature with Defender or a land. We'll see. Alright, my opponent is on a much slower start, but did just do a draw 4. This The top card of your library. If it's a creature or planeswalker, reveal it, put it in your hand. Okay, so it's another infinite mana source sink. Understood. Okay. So let's go 1, 2, Winding Way. I think choosing land? Nice. Play this. Play another Quarian Ranger. Bash for 1. I may be wrong in choosing land for that. Maybe I just go for creature because like it'll just make more mana with Overgrown Battlement. Yep. Yep. That's fine. So now I will lead the Stampede, Absence Pilgrim, Tinderwall. Those can go in any order. Tap that. I think go ahead and play Tinderwall. Then untap this by bouncing a land. Get 2 mana out of it. I think just playing the Pilgrim, I don't think I sacrifice Tinderwall to lead the Stampede immediately. Although, mana's not exactly my bot. Alright, I will. Might be too aggressive, but ooh. Alright, that's a good draw 3. I don't think this is going anywhere. I could bounce another land to play a Caretaker right now. The same amount of mana. Allows me to play multiple white cards next turn. Yeah. So there's a green for a Caretaker. That's pretty reasonable. So how much mana do I actually have next turn? Easily. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana easily. Maybe more than that. Alright, they found a Drift of Phantasms. Sure. Alright. Caretaker is basically free. This gives me 3 mana, 4 mana, 5 mana. I get to 7 comfortably with 1 bounce. Do both of these? I think so. Yeah. So I'll 5 mana, play a Goliath Paladin. Up this so I don't have to jump through hoops for white. Then I will make a white mana with this. Untap this, bouncing a forest. Probably could have also gotten Axebane Guardian in play if I played this a little neater. But getting Axebane Guardian in play in the first place doesn't seem super important. Alright, there's a land drop from my opponent. And a lot of mana. A Drift. An Invoker. I guess my opponent can straight up just, like, throw 8 mana into this and kill that. Alright, that's annoying. Alright. Good to know. Scrying again? Probably scrying again. No to both. We are looking for big dumb things to do. That's not quite a big dumb thing to do. Not too far away from it, but it's not quite the big dumb thing that I was hoping for. That will give me 4. Have a random Quarian Ranger. That will give me 5. Arena is not great versus my opponent's stuff. The Menace thing doesn't matter, though. I still think I'm going to cut across and try to force this thing into combat. It's not going to happen. To be clear, my opponent can just tap their stuff at will. Doesn't feel great. Okay, that was good. What's a Rift Sower? Okay, it's another mana dork. Oh, okay. That's the haste one. That's going to be good here. Yeah, that's so much mana between these two. So this Rabble Fort is actually going to do something pretty relevant. Yeah. All right. At this point, I'm gonna close that. Basically, whatever happens, happens. I think my opponent just goes deep enough on these Axebane Guardians that I'm effectively dead. What are they, like 7 each right now? Okay. I assume that kills me. Rift of Phantasms, which my opponent will transmute. I assume this gets freed from the real and I die. That's freed from the real and I'm dead to the onboard Invoker. Alright, I won't make my opponent click through it. GG. Alright. Overall thoughts on the deck list. Honestly, not that bad. I think I'm just, like, not into the Pauper experience right now. Like, I think this is conceptually kind of a cool deck list, right? Um, it feels like it's working so hard in comparison to the top tier of the format, though. Like, with Affinity, you have so many draw to effects that you can bury your opponent in card advantage, and with the Kuldotha Red deck, you can just go so fast that opposing decks don't have time to set up, and a lot of times their interaction or their blockers just don't matter. And, like, playing anything that is not a top tier deck in Pauper right now just, like, doesn't feel particularly fun. Like, the format feels so stale to me as an individual who doesn't play Pauper very much. Like, in terms of data, I've heard the competitive balance is fine, but I don't know. Like, despite how cool this deck is, like, I feel very lukewarm after recording with this, and, like, I don't know what that says. Like, maybe this format isn't for me, maybe this format isn't unhealthy. I will say I feel like this deck needs more lands. Like, it felt like I just had to mulligan so many times throughout this league. Like, 15 land is an incredibly low land count. Like, I get that you want to fit in all of these mana dorks, but, like, when you can't consistently get to 3 mana to just, like, play out the Axebane Guardian or the lead the Stampede, you need to kick things off. I don't know. It feels to me like this deck plays better with a few more lands, so you don't just have to mulligan into Oblivion. And maybe I'm playing around too many things. Maybe I'm just supposed to, like, haha, play initiative creature on turn 2 or turn 3 every time I can at the cost of all safety. And, like, maybe that just wins. But I don't know. I I don't feel good when cards that I board in for specific matchups don't have any impact on the matchup. And I don't know. I feel like I don't have great tools to fight Affinity or Mono Red, and, like, those are what I consider to be the two best decks in the format as an outsider. So that's where I'm at. Regardless, I hope you enjoyed. This is a cool deck in a time that I think the format is not super interesting. So I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please click the like button on the way out. Would really and truly love to hear your thoughts. All right, have a great rest of the day, folks. See ya!